Hello gang, welcome back to my guide series in the Long Dark. My name is Lonelywolf. In this episode, we'll be discussing the new cooking mechanic. So, if you guys are veterans of the game, you would obviously realize that starting a cooking season, going on a whole fest was rather simple. Be it in a stove, a campfire, fire barrel, wherever you were, you would simply light your fire, and I probably should have thrown some accelerator on this to make sure that it actually started, and if not, we'll do that on the next go round. Anyway, you'd start your fire, and as soon as you get into your fire, you'd have your menu where you can add fuel, be it sticks or wood or whatever, and you can then go in and cook things or boil water out of snow. And that was the way of doing things. It all happened in accelerated time in menus. Well, now when you click on a fire, all you have is adding fuel and taking your torch. You no longer have an option to cook things straight from the fire. What has changed is now at stoves, like one of these stoves in Pleasant Valley, you have 6 cooktops. A wood stove, like the kind you find in trappers, has 2. A fire barrel has 2, and a pot-bellied stove in a fishing camp has 1, and a campfire has 2 slots. Now each thing cooks differently. And you have recycled cans. You get these from eating things like dog food, and the much rarer but more efficient and powerful cooking pot. What you can do is you can go to your radial menu and you can go to Campcraft, and they'll appear down here in this slot if you have one. Here, I'll just show you guys real quick. I want to pick up that can. You go to Campcraft and you can place it from here, be it your recycled can or your cooking pot, whatever it is you have. Well, now to cook items, you can either go directly to the radial. If you have raw meat, don't left click on it, you'll eat it, and if it's raw, that's bad. I would caution you against using this method of doing it. And you can right click and you can place it, and you can cook things directly on the surface like this. Or you can also go into your straight up inventory by pressing I and drop your items, and then right click on it and place it if there's a free pad. However, this doesn't work if you actually want to put it in something. Note you can only put things that will fit in a can inside a can. You can't just put full-on steaks in a can. However, a cooking pot you can, so we're going to go ahead and throw my salmon in there. And things inside a pot take less time to cook than they do on an open range. You can also melt snow inside your cans. You need a container now to melt snow. Now, the beauty of this new cooking method is the power and flexibility it gives you when doing big batch cooking. You see, I have 6 items out here now, and they all have different times on them, and I'm just going to show you with the slowest one super quick. You just press space to pass the time, and it'll do it until it's done. Now you can see there's a burn mechanic, or with water till boiled dry. And you can just take your water straight out. It leaves the can on the stove. And that's how you do it with water. It just works the same with the pot. The pot just holds far more. As you can see, the pot cooks faster than just being on the range with your standard meat. Now, what you can do is with things cooking, especially if they have long cook times like this, 40 minutes, whatever, you can pick up your bear quarter and you can harvest it. And you can just go straight to town on it and harvest stuff while your food cooks. So you're not just stuck inside a menu like this one right here with the time acceleration going down. You can actually just throw your food on the stove and go to town on something else. You can read your books, you can repair your clothes, harvest your bear quarter, harvest your broken arrows. You can do all sorts of different things crafting while your food cooks. You're not stuck in an accelerated time menu while cooking. Now, the cooking method is currently unrealistic if you want to go from a pure realism standpoint. No steak should be taking an hour to cook. I mean, granted, this is a full-on 2.2 pound piece of meat, but even then, it shouldn't in real life take that long. But the reason it's done that way is to balance things out so that it fits in with the game mechanics. So they want to be a little bit lengthy on the cooking times for how long things take to cook, to give you time to do other things while your food cooks. Now, you can see even once it's cooked, you have a gracious period of time before it burns. So we're just going to take my salmon. We're going to eat as much of it as it's going to let me eat. All of it, actually. Got my lamp oil out of it, too. We're going to let my water boil away though. So as you can see, I've got 24 minutes till ready on this fresh venison. We're just going to pass time till it's ready. And as you can see, my water is now boiled. I'll just drink. My steak's done. I'm going to let that steak burn so you guys can see what happens when you do that. We're going to pass time till this is ready. See, my water's going to boil away. This is nearly burned. That'll be burned first before the water boils. Yep, inedible burn stuff. Not worth anything. You can click it and it just disappears. That's all it does. And you can see my water boiled up. So you must be careful when cooking to avoid doing that. And your cooking pot holds a lot more water than does your cans. So there's efficiency to using different implementations. And to make water, you now need a recycled can or a pot. You can't just do it from a fire anymore. So let's break down and discuss about cooking. It's obviously fairly easy to do, and it has the potential to be super powerful. But cooking does have its drawbacks with this new method. And that drawback currently stands in doing small cooking. Let's say you're going to go out for a day's exploration and you just need one steak or two steaks, whatever it may be, to get the job done. But you can light your fire up, and you can even just do a campfire which has 2 spots. You can just throw your 2 steaks on there, cook them up, or a steak and water, and cook it up and get going out on the town, get exploring done, whatever, what have you. Well, it takes a lot longer now to cook items than it used to. You can't just spend the 20 minutes of accelerated game time to cook your food anymore. Granted, you can pass time while it cooks, but now it's going to take an hour for your steak to cook instead of 20 minutes. So single item cooking in low quantities takes far longer now than it used to. However, you can light multiple campfires, or you use a fire barrel with multiple campfires, or you can go to a place that has a super big stove like the Pleasant Valley farmhouse which we're in, or Grey Mother's house in Milton. And you have 6 cooking places at your disposal. You can go and you can collect all your cooking pots and just leave them at that big giant stove. You can cook all your different things in one go. And that's the power of this new cooking method, is large batch cooking. When it comes time now when you're harvesting your bear, you can get 2 campfires, 3 campfires, 10 campfires. You know, your fuel's the only limit here going, and load them all up with meat, and then just sit there harvesting for the time it's going to take the meat to cook. You know, got all this different time going on this stuff. And then once you're done harvesting, your meat's cooked, you can pull all your meat off, throw the new stuff up, and then go back to harvesting. So for large batch cooking, this new cooking method is going to be super powerful. It's going to give you the flexibility to do all sorts of different things while your food cooks. You know, knowing your fire is going to take an hour to do anything, to cook anything if you don't have a pot on it, you can just throw your steak up on here. Let me grab my steak. You can just throw your steak up on there. Look, big old thing of bear meat's got 2 hours before it's even cooked, and then a half hour from there on before it's burned. So I have an hour and a half if I was just cooking one piece of steak to do my thing until it's cooked. I'm not just stuck here sitting in a fire screen accelerating time. So that's its power. That's the power of this new method. But it does have its drawback when it comes to low single piece cooking times, as those are now far more extended from what they once were. Well, I hope that has helped you guys and given you an overview of the cooking system. It's rather easy. I'll just caution you though, when using from the radio menu, do not left click. Don't left click, right click. Which is why I would rather caution you to use pots to cook your meat instead of direct placement, or if you're going to do that, drop it all like this. And let me just grab my water real quick. Let me just pick up my recycled can so I'll show you super duper quick. You can just grab it and place it much quicker, just like that. So that's the beauty of this new cooking method. So I can't wait to see you guys be having fun with this. It will take some getting used to. It's definitely very different, but I think it's a step in the right direction. I personally feel like the times could be tuned a little bit better, but it functions well, and it gives you guys the opportunity to do other things while your food cooks rather than just be stuck in a menu. All right, that's cooking. In the next episode, we'll be going on over your weapon choice and how to use it in preparation for hunting, and then getting into hunting tutorials from there. So I hope that's, guys, this video has helped you. I hope the previous ones have, and the future ones will too, or if you just came here for cooking, that's great too. Either way, I've been Lonely Wolf. I hope this has helped. Stay safe and stay warm out there.